Keep your politics and your palate separate. That's a good piece of advice for every politician. People are very touchy about their food, borderline aggressive. So telling people what to eat can land you in trouble. But what if your palate is political? What if your eating habits impact government policy? One minister in Spain decided to talk about it. Alberto Garzón is the Consumer Affairs Minister of Spain. Last week, he went online with some culinary advice. Eat less meat, he said. Protect your planet.
What would you think if I told you that the consumption of excessive amounts of meat is damaging for our health and that of our planet? This question has motivated the need to make this video. I'm worried about the health of our citizens and I'm worried about the health of our planet.
You can guess what happened next. Spaniards dined on Garzón's comments. He got served on social media. His own cabinet colleagues disowned him, and 6 meat-producing associations wrote him a letter. Their message was straightforward: stay off our plates. When the backlash became unbearable, the minister tried to firefight. He said he wasn't proposing a ban, but a more measured consumption pattern, basically rationing our meat. And frankly, he has a point. Spanish regulators recommend eating up to 500 grams of meat a week. But the average Spaniard eats almost a kilogram, twice the recommended amount. This uncontrolled consumption has consequences. It directly affects the environment. Let me show you some numbers. Nearly 26% of global emissions come from the food industry. Out of this, 58% come from animal products, and half of it is just beef and lamb. So what's the link here? How does the meat industry affect our planet? It has to do with scale. The UK Greenpeace calls it industrial meat. You see, there's a big network between the farms and your table, and this network is dominated by corporates. Here's an example, JBS. It is the world's largest meat processing company based out of Brazil. They emit nearly half as much greenhouse gases as oil giants like Shell and BP. Meat production depends on deforestation. JBS, for example, is eating into the Amazon rainforests. For livestock to be reared, land must be reclaimed. And where does this land come from? Chopping and burning forests. So eating meat is not a culinary choice anymore. It is becoming a climate change policy. And it's not just meat. All dairy products have a similar impact on the planet. So experts want us to reduce meat and dairy consumption by 20%. This would save 7 million tons of carbon dioxide from farms. So the science checks out. But can we just wind up the meat industry overnight? No, we can't. It employs millions of people worldwide, sustains families, adds to the GDP. Not to mention, our food is linked to our culture and religion. So how do you balance this decision? For starters, you can never force this on someone. Instead, governments must look at incentives, ways to draw people away from meat. This could be higher taxes, even artificial substitutes. A few restaurants are already trying them out. Their creators swear by the taste. And don't forget the workers, the millions of people who work in this industry, the meat industry. They will need new jobs if the world walks away from meat. And that's the worry in Spain. The meat industry employs 2.5 million workers. Their exports are worth almost $10 billion. So Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez is not swearing off meat just yet. In fact, he says a medium-cooked meat chop is unbeatable. Perhaps he's right. But survival trumps taste. Right now, our consumption patterns are over the top. We're spending way too much water, produce and fuel to fill up plates. And this is neither healthy nor sustainable. But the solution is not banning meat or making a vegan earth. The solution is rationing, treating meat as a food source, not as a pleasure to exploit. Think about it. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.